Let's move on to the last story. Now, we didn't cover this story when it first happened, but we did talk a little bit about last night. Takuta Ferris and his comments of a post that was, no, that's the wrong one, it'll be that one, that went out around the by-election in Tāmaki Makaurau. This blows my mind. Indians, Asians, Black and Pākehā campaigning to take a Māori seat from Māori. And Te Pāti Māori came out and apologised for it. Te Pāti Māori apologises over Takuta Ferris social media post. So obviously, if they're apologising, Te Pāti Māori are kind of going, I mean, I can't put words in their mouth that they're saying this was wrong. But if you're apologising, you're acknowledging there's been some error or something done that you don't quite agree with. About midnight last night, Takuta Ferris did a 7.5-minute post on his Instagram, explaining, doubling down basically. I was going to try and watch some of this, but actually literally just before we came on air, TV3 has done a story on it. So I think what we'll do, because the 7 minutes we can watch all of that, but it would have been better to pull some bits out. So I'm sort of trusting that TV3 has already done that for us. So we'll go have a look to see what they say about it. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring up his Instagram was I thought it would be interesting to also have a look at some of the comments on his Instagram from people about what he's saying as well. So kind of to get the heart of it. So here we go. This is the 3 News story tonight.
Te Pāti Māori MP Takuta Ferris has defied his co-leaders, doubling down on his criticism of non-Māori supporting Labour's Peni Hinare's by-election campaign. Te Pāti Māori publicly apologised on his behalf last week when he first made the comments. Instead of apologising, he posted a late-night video repeating his complaints. Glenn McConnell reports.
Takuta Ferris hitting out at Labour.
Well, guess what, Willie? I don't give a crap who you care about or what you care about. In the Māori seats, it's about the Māori people, Māori only.
In direct defiance of his own Te Pāti Māori co-leaders.
The vultures in the game swoop in and make a big story.
You got to be careful, 3, because you're making that look like he might be referencing his leaders as the vultures, because that's how that was kind of cut. It's obviously certainly not what he was doing. One of the things, and I haven't watched this article yet, so I'm not sure, he does say is, if he had have said this just in Māori, there'd be no hubbub about it. But because he said it in English, there's hubbub about it. Now, agree or disagree, that's part of his 7-minute conversation off his Instagram.
I'm out of it because they want to get some points, right? But didn't really work.
Te Pāti Māori told Ferris to take down this post when he criticised Labour for having non-Māori supporters helping Peni Hinare's campaign for Tāmaki Makaurau. Last week, the party apologised on his behalf. It said it did not condone this post and instructed Ferris to pull it down. But Ferris doesn't want to apologise.
Man, we've had so many messages of people saying, well, what you said was right. Yes, that's correct. Oh, we shouldn't be so shy to say that. No, tūturu.
Other MPs not sharing any support for Ferris.
This is harmful to those communities and to our kaupapa of kotahitanga.
I think that...
Dude, I mean, we hold Marama in pretty high regard here. If she's coming out and saying to a Māori MP about a Māori issue, dude, you're out of line. That, to me, at least, Chewie, that says a lot. I mean, like, we're about to hear from Bitumen, it would appear, but from Marama, you're like, dude, that says something.
This is harmful to those communities and to our kaupapa of kotahitanga.
I think that those comments are very prejudicial, discriminatory and unreasonable, particularly of an elected member. But kaya ia ona kōrero. He has his own views and sometimes they come from a very dark and dank place.
I just think that's not the New Zealand way. It is also not the spirit that some of us have been working very hard over the last couple of years to try and generate.
And Winston Peters is worried about what Ferris was doing.
Oh, God. Get ready, people. He's probably woke.
Summoned the mummy.
That'll be woke somewhere and someone race it, and that'll be something. Winston will sort it out.
So late at night.
I said that they were totally inappropriate when he first made them. And he repeated them again last night. It's midnight. It was full moon. It's out. But it could have a good hard look at his body language. There's something wrong here.
This video was uploaded around midnight. He talks at length, ranting for 8 minutes about why he was right to criticise Peni Hinare for having non-Māori supporters helping his Tāmaki Makaurau by-election.
And that's actually potentially factually untrue as well. Allegedly, there's no Māori in that image, But that doesn't mean there's no Māori in the campaign. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference there. There's a difference between those two things.
Okay, homogenising e te whānau means you're making Māori appear as just another one of these ethnic groups in the Māori seat. That should blow your mind.
This video is causing all sorts of trouble for Te Pāti Māori and they don't want to talk about it.
Do you call out racism where you see it?
Their leaders didn't come to work today and Ferris was nowhere to be found. Their absence just piling more pressure on potential coalition partner Labour.
Does it change your view of the party and make them seem like a difficult political party to work with potentially in the future?
I had a very constructive conversation with the leadership of the Māori Party. In this case, it was Debbie Ngārewa-Paka earlier today. And I absolutely accept her at her word that she is also very concerned about this.
Apparently concerned, but Te Pāti Māori hasn't publicly said anything. They're ignoring journalists after Debbie Ngārewa-Paka made an unsubstantiated claim they were being tracked with hidden cameras and reporters hiding in bushes. 3 News asked them yesterday for details.
Who was in the bushes though? Who was it and where were the bushes?
Anything else? Okay, is there anyone else that wants to talk?
No, who was it in the bush though?
Is there anyone else that wants to talk?
So you made it like
No.
Who had the hidden camera? Who had the hidden camera?
Co-leaders not happy answering questions and an MP unhappy with their apology.
Yeah, so there you go, Chewie. It's a very strange thing that when you sit on the sidelines looking in and wanting to see a group being successful, and unfortunately understanding the game of politics and how it's played somewhat, realising that some things they're doing is harmful to the overall outcome that they want for themselves. I don't have any insights into the world of Māoridom. I'm not the person to talk to about how they should and shouldn't speak publicly, but I know politics. And I know that this will attract some people, but it'll also turn some people away. I think it's probably a net negative, even if it is what you enthusiastically and honestly believe.
Yeah, I got a couple of thoughts with this. Look, I like Ferris. I think he's a good MP. I watched him through the select committee, the submissions process. He asks good questions. He raises good points. I've enjoyed some of his speeches in the House. I think he's a good MP. I don't think there's anything anything good that comes on hitting that go live button at midnight. I think that's a mistake, and I don't think that there is anything good that comes of making your leaders look bad. I can't imagine that's going to be a fun decision. And it puts them in this position that everybody is punching at them at the moment. Every party. Like, as you said, Marama has come out and said, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah. It is kind of that, isn't it? It's, bro, what are you doing? I mean, like I said, sometimes we get accused of the white savior complex, and it's not that at all. It's like, I want to fill as many left-wing sails as I can, happy to stand on the sidelines, not my place to get in there. And you can see some of these things and you just kind of go, how do we help without making the problem worse? And yeah.
I think the other part of it is I can see where he's going of like, hey, look, it's a Māori seat. This is an issue for Māori. But I think that's short-sighted. I think that is ignoring the large portion of... I think Māori Party has a lot of support from tangata reti. And so when you hear someone go, nah, Māori only, what do those supporters are left to think about?
But what he's saying is right. The seats are for Māori only.
It's Māori right.
But it doesn't mean that Māori only want to see that Māori MP in that seat. Many non-Māori want. I mean, without casting too many kind of, I don't know what the word is. Anyway, I'm stoked to see Te Pāti Māori have 6 Māori seats. I'd be stoked to see them have 7 next year. I'm not Māori, but I'm on the sidelines going, that's cool with me. And saying that, like, I also don't want to, and I'm probably a little bit different from many watching, I don't want to smash Labour and say you can't have them either. So, battle of wills, see what happens. But I'm excited about Te Pāti Māori being in there. I'm excited when we talk to Debbie. This is the other thing. It feels like there is a disconnect between Debbie and Rawiri and maybe some of the MPs. Now, I don't mean that they're fighting or arguing. Maybe Debbie and Rawiri have understood more the game of politics. It's a horrible thing to say. I'm not trying to minimise it, but how, there are certain things that need to happen within that cycle of getting things done. And maybe some of the younger sort of, and I'm using this term not negatively, but activist MPs, I mean, more power to you, look at the Greens, are just like, nah, fuck it, I'm doing it my way no matter what. Maybe, I don't know, but it's how it kind of feels, especially when the leaders have come out saying, dude, no, we're sorry for this. And then midnight last night, 20, whatever it is, 22 hours ago. It's like, just put it out there all over again.
When I read that story, because I was in the position of defending the dude, and then he did that, and I was like, oh no. So he's going to be in a position now where he's going to have to take his lumps.
Well, and it's still up as well. There's another thing to be aware of. It's still up right now. So
he's going to have to take his lumps here and survive this. He's going to have to be in a position of visibly being put in a place because he's put his leadership in a position. And so Debbie and Rawiri are now in a place where they're like, well, if they're not seen to do anything, then they're not in control of their own party. And if they do something, they run the risk of losing an MP. If Ferris goes, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to deal with this, I'm out.
Yeah. Hi, Uncle Hone, is that Mana party still going?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
We need cohesion on the left, and we don't want it to happen what we've talked about of like, we're going to stick to the rules and we're going to do the good game. Meanwhile, the right goes, yeah, so what? Our MP does this. Or, Stuart Nash is shooting his mouth off. And now there's 3 parties deciding whether they want him more than the rest.
Here's an interesting take. The post is still up. I haven't gone through and cherry picked any sayings, but this one I was scanning as it's quite interesting. So this is on Takuta's Instagram. It says, I'm your constituent. You were the first MP I'd ever voted for in my life. I'm Māori. I'm also South Asian. We can kōrero about the differences in reo till the cows come home. But at the end of the day, your phrasing and use of language on that particular post was what you chose to say, and it made the impact that it did regardless of what you meant to say in another language. You said it. End of. Our migrant community are some of our strongest allies, and I reject the notion that their presence is erasing us. I don't care about Labour or Willie Jackson or Penny. I expect to see accountability from you moving forward from this. I expect my MP that I voted for to represent me. I did not get that tonight. That's a pretty powerful
comment.
Yeah, I like that was just I just grabbed one. Like I saw one. That was yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. So, and I mean, it will be interesting to see what comes. The other thing is, I'm not about keeping the peace, right? I'm 100% fine with protest and making noise and breaking rules and for protest and that kind of stuff. But there is also an element of what you're going to go out there and what hill you're going to die on. And, there's that adage in business sometimes, and you don't run the country like a business, so I'm with you, but there's that adage in business that, you don't want to have any unforeseen issues, no surprises. Most prime ministers want no surprises. Most leaders of political parties want no surprises. And what this does, right? This is the thing you got to think about when you're in politics, right? What this does, this just confirms the narrative of the right, right? So the narrative of the right, which is wrong, right, about who Te Pāti Māori are, what they believe, this confirms it for them. This gives them a billboard. This gives them information and fodder for the next election run. This gives them the right to go, well, look, how's How's Hipkin going to work from them? What does Hipkin say? This could turn into Hipkins having to justify what was said here, because Te Pāti Māori could be a coalition partner. So yeah, it's dumb politics. Sorry to be blunt. And in fact, I think someone in the chat said that. Shall I have a look and grab it? Here we go. Weli Ruru. What's the difference between donating money to Māori candidates, standing for Māori seats, and door knocking for them? Takuta has a dumb take from Weli Ruru. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be really honest with you, just being blunt, there's a part of me which goes, fuck the establishment, let's burn it all down. And there's a part of me that goes, yeah, but then we'll lose and the other guys will be in charge. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I think naturally I am a burn it all down person. I mean, you may not think that, because I think some people think I'm, fairly moderate for the lefties sometimes, but I am innately let's burn it all down. But I'm also smart enough to know, with enough history on these old bones, to know that if you want to help the vulnerable, if you want to get away from this arsonist government, you got to sit in the seat of power. So there's going to be some part you got to play the game to win the outcome, as horrible as that sounds. And this is not a good tactic to win.
Yeah, I think the more the discussion, like one of the ugly things that always circles Te Pāti Māori is that they're a racist party because reasons. We've had probably one of my favourite shows is when we had Debbie and Rawiri on, and we just yarned about politics, about their aims. It just felt like the four of us and a couple of hundred people in the chat just sitting around a table over a few drinks talking about politics. We know through that really clearly what the Te Pāti Māori wants. And it fits really well with what I want for this country. The reason that people call Te Pāti Māori a racist party is because they are acknowledging Māori as a race in their position in New Zealand society, in New Zealand government, and in the founding of this country. The people that are calling them a racist party don't want any mention of Māori. They want us to all be the same. And that sounds good, but it means that something gets erased in favour of something else.
I loved
Te
hearing
Pāti Māori have done some phenomenal work around the hikoi and the Treaty Principles Bill. And I think they have activated an enormous amount of people and made them politically active. And that is a good thing.
I love hearing Marama tonight. Was it on that one, or did I watch something else? Referring, you said because they're called Te Pāti Māori because, I don't know if you heard Marama say Te Pāti Kakariki? Kakariki? Yeah. For the Green Party. She was talking about Te Pāti Kakariki, which I think is kind of cool. Hey, look, Claire said something really interesting. I want to put this up, and then I think we'll probably finish for the night. I get sometimes, not so much now, but there's a group of they're kind of radicalized right, Māori women in particular on Twitter, who basically are like ACT voters, and there's a little circle of them. Some of them you would have heard being kicked out of, four squares around the country because they've been harassing the trans community. That group of people who often have a crack on Twitter at me. Maybe I blocked them. I don't know. About the white. This is the white savior complex. You're white savior. We don't need you. And I always say to them, well, and what I say to them is kind of what Claire said. What I say to them is, well, I could either follow your advice to keep my nose out of it, or I could follow what Professor Margaret Mutu suggested we do, which was be a buffer. I think I'll stick with Margaret Mutu, and Claire's just kind of said the same thing. It's hard when Margaret Mutu calls for tangata tiriti to be buffers, and this guy seems to be saying the opposite. I mean...
Yeah, you know what's happened whenever something like this has come up, whether it's other people on the left that haven't liked a decision that we've made, or a show that we've done, or whatever, or what you're talking about there. is that it hasn't changed what I believe in, what I support, or the direction that I'm going. And it's always been in my head, right? Like, imagine that. The Māori people go, well, we don't need Pākehā. We don't need your help. We can do it ourselves. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still walking this way.
Yeah.
And you're still walking this way as well. So we'll just angrily walk side by side.
Yeah. It's like that. You guys can, in this protest, you guys can be on the road walking that way. I'll just wander up the footpath beside you. And if you want to call me, and you can. If you don't want to, that's cool. I'm just going to stay on the footpath. And that's kind of how I feel about issues when they talk about that kind of white savior things. Like the difference between white savior complex and not is white savior complex. They think that we are the answer to help these people. And I'm like, I ain't the fucking answer to help these people. But if this group of people want our help and they call upon us, I want to be available. That's the difference. And I think that we sit ourselves in that second rather than thinking we've got anything special to offer any community that we're not a part of. Like, you need us, we're here, holler out. If you don't, we'll support you in whatever way we can. That's the difference.